Welcome, graduates, distinguished faculty, family, and friends. I'm Jeff Brown, Dean of the Gies College of Business. One of the greatest joys of being a dean is the opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of this year's graduating class. It's also a great pleasure to welcome the families that are joining us today. I know that you're rightfully proud of your graduates' achievements. Like them, you've sacrificed to reach this day. There's no question that earning a degree while balancing a full-time job is a team effort. Know that their accomplishments were only made possible by your support and love. We begin today with our national anthem.
To all of you in this graduating class, congratulations on your accomplishments. Today is an enormous milestone. We often say that the Illinois family is made up of people who rise to their very best when faced with a challenge. And during this very challenging year, I'm incredibly humbled to say that this graduating class has done exactly that. Your courses were delivered in alternative ways. At times, your research and your scholarship were put on hold, and some of you were separated from friends and colleagues and instructors by a significant distance. I want to be very clear. During a time that has been nearly impossible to predict, you have shown incredible strength. That is something to celebrate. So on behalf of our entire university community, congratulations. We can't wait to see what you'll accomplish next as alumni.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Brooke Elliott, and I'm an Associate Dean and the EY Professor here in the Gies College of Business. I'm so proud to welcome you to the Gies alumni family. You should be very proud of all you have accomplished. The investments that you've made in yourself changes your trajectory and the trajectory of your family for generations. You have proven yourself to be resilient, determined, adaptable, and a smart decision maker, and willing to learn from others, all characteristics of great leaders. And that's exactly what we consider you to be. Whether you earned an MSM to advance your skills or prepare for a promotion, or an MSA so that you can become a CPA or start your own business, or an MBA to advance, pivot, or change careers altogether, you know what this degree and this accomplishment means, and I couldn't be more proud of you. I want to thank you for choosing Gies to continue your educational journey. I also want to thank you for all the hard work you've put into completing your degree. I know this journey hasn't been easy, and the world looks a lot different now than it did when you started your degree. It's no small achievement, triaging work, family, and a graduate education, especially in the midst of a pandemic and a time of unrest. You had to make some tough choices to do this, and you made great choices to come to Gies and learn from the best faculty, many of whom are with us here today, and the most experienced set of peers anywhere in the globe. Your education is a journey, and this is just the start. We'll be here to help you learn even more. Our entire team has been dedicated to ensuring your experience is the very best in business. We have built our programs based on your needs, your career objectives, your lifestyle, and your learning styles. Know that as you move on to do great things, Gies will always be your home. Even though you may not ever have been physically present here, you will always be part of our family. You have been such incredible ambassadors for our programs and for Gies business. What you've experienced here is true online education. These are programs that were designed to be online, and your testament to the quality of education you have experienced here at Gies is our very best promotion. So many of you have done everything we've asked and participated in so many ways to spread the great word about the outstanding education you can earn here at Gies. So thank you. Today is a day of celebration, a time of reflection on all you've accomplished, and an opportunity to look ahead at all the great things to come. So thank you for joining us today, and congratulations again. I'd now like to introduce our special guest speaker today. Stephanie Cohen is Global Co-Head of Consumer and Wealth Management and a member of the Management Committee at Goldman Sachs. She is also a member of the Global Inclusion and Diversity Network, serving as Global Executive Sponsor of the Women's Network. Earlier this month, Stephanie was honored with the Alan C. Greenberg Young Leadership Award from UGA Federation of New York for her professional accomplishments and commitment to improving the lives of others. Stephanie serves on the National Board of Directors of College Spring and is a member of the Board of Quill. She also serves as a trustee for the Board of the Economic Club of New York. She earned her bachelor's degree in finance from the College of Business here in the Gies College of Business in 1999. Please join me in welcoming Stephanie Cohen.
Thank you, Dean Elliott. I'm really thrilled to be here. First, I'm going to start by saying congratulations. And that includes a really big congrats to all the families and friends of the students that are here. I know that college can be just as much of a journey for all of you as it is for the students. And I want to especially give a shout out to the many of you who are the first to go to college in your families. This is an amazing accomplishment. You are the embodiment of the American dream. Graduating from college is a really big deal, and it's even more impressive from a place like the University of Illinois, especially the Gies College of Business. And I'm speaking from experience here, having sat in your shoes not too long ago. Okay, so maybe it was over 20 years ago, but time flies. If you can believe it, it was a world without TikTok, Netflix, or Zoom. Can you imagine that? But hey, the Bears are still trying for that second Super Bowl, so not a lot has changed. What also hasn't changed is how well prepared you'll be after graduating from this amazing institution. The business school has seen everyone from pioneers in the world of tech to philanthropy to even a Super Bowl champ. Sorry, Bears. And I'm confident that in front of me today are future CEOs, founders of the next great startups, and visionaries who will make a real difference in so many lives around the world. So as you prepare to enter the quote unquote real world, my guess is you're getting a lot of advice. I'm not going to be any different. I'm going to hand you my unsolicited advice. But I promise to keep it short to simply 4 pieces of advice. And the first one I'm going to start with is something that someone told me when I first graduated. I was told to take a break. Okay, so now many of you are rolling your eyes because it's not what you expected to hear from the Goldman Sachs investment banker. But for me, it was a gift to graduate a semester early. I spent the spring semester working at a startup on campus. I worked out a lot, and I spent a lot of time with my friends. Then I moved to New York a full month before I started work, and I actually got bored. And for those who know me well, no, I don't do bored. So certainly my accounting and finance classes really prepared me for my time at Goldman Sachs. But the most important thing I did was take that break after graduating. And don't take my word for it. Research shows that boredom is good for the brain. It leads to creative ways of thinking. One of my favorite authors and thinkers is Adam Grant. And here is one of his quotes. Resting is not a waste of time. It's an investment in well-being. Relaxing is not a sign of laziness. It's a source of energy. Breaks are not a distraction. They're a chance to refocus our attention. Play is not a frivolous activity. It's a path to connection and creativity. It's amazing. We all know this when we're kids, but it's so hard in today's nonstop world to actually take a break. How many times today did you pick up your phone? In a world that promises you constant entertainment, it's really hard to shut it all out. The pandemic has been truly horrific for everyone. But one of the silver linings of that pandemic is that we've gotten reacquainted with being bored. In our house, we actually had an entire room that was dedicated to jigsaw puzzles. So for all of you who are not jumping into your first jobs just yet, I think you're in the perfect place heading into 2022. And for those of you who are about to start work, make sure you take a break this holiday season. My second piece of advice is to constantly learn. And this is something I learned very early in life. Growing up, I fell in love with competitive figure skating. It combined the best of gymnastics and ballet, and I loved the costumes. Okay, it also didn't hurt that the skates made me a few inches taller. And believe it or not, the most important thing I learned from skating was how to fall and pick myself back up again. The only way to learn those amazingly beautiful jumps and spins that you see in the Olympics is to fall a lot. Some of my happiest moments were actually when I was physically laid on the ice after a really tough fall, because I could feel that I'd almost landed that big jump. I can still hear my coaches telling me to get back up and then telling me in detail how to tweak my technique. And honestly, not a lot has changed for me today. I'm going to quote Adam Grant again. It's easy to be a critic or a cheerleader. It's harder to be a coach. A critic sees your weaknesses and attacks your worst self. A cheerleader sees your strengths and celebrates your best self. A coach sees your potential and helps you become a better version of yourself. That's why I still try to surround myself with tough coaches who are going to support me when I fall and teach me how to get back up. They make me better, and importantly, they teach me how to make others better as well. They force me to constantly learn and never stop asking questions. Because if there's one thing I've learned, there's never a dumb question. Okay, my next piece of advice, and that means we're halfway there, is to focus on execution and getting things done. And that really brings me to my time at the University of Illinois. When I became president of Commerce Council, which is now called Business Council, it was the largest business organization on campus. But it really didn't do much. It was a resume builder. But Alice Waldorf, the advisor to the council, and later my friend and mentor, encouraged me to dig in and get something done. So what did we do? First, we created a planner to raise money. Okay, I'm sure that sounds really antiquated, but it was an innovation at the time. And there are those of you who are still scratching your heads trying to figure out what in the world I mean by a planner. It was actually a physical planner that you wrote in. It helped you keep track of homework and other places and things that you needed to do. And think about it as an early version of Google Calendar, but it was on paper. And the importance of it was that, of course, it raised money, but it made the students of the business school feel like a community. The next thing that we did was that we thought it was really important to bring the business schools and the engineering schools closer together. At the time, there was a bit of healthy competition. Maybe there still is today. Engineering clearly had the better library, and we thought we were better looking. But given where the world was heading, there was more and more people who wanted to study both. It was important that business and engineering work together. And honestly, if I think about today, there is nothing that we can do at Goldman Sachs without the help of our engineering team. They're critical to our business. And the salespeople, the traders, the investment bankers, many of them are actually computer scientists. So I think we were onto something 20 years ago. So what we did was the president of Engineering Council and I came together. We created combined events and initiatives. But most importantly, we brought our two groups together so that they could build lifelong relationships and so that it was easy for someone who wanted to pursue a career that was both business and engineering to be part of one community. Luckily, I had someone like Alice to nudge me to get something done. But my advice is, don't wait for others to tell you what to do. Just do it. Another slogan that hasn't changed since I graduated. And over 20 years later, I'm really proud to hear that Business Council is still thriving today. And that brings me to my last piece of advice, and that's make the people around you better. This is something I learned very early in life from my mom, who is still in the classroom as a high school teacher. And I learned it again from the incredible professors here at the University of Illinois. Teachers do this for a living. They make other people better. And while I didn't follow in my mom's footsteps directly, I'd like to think we're actually all teachers. Earlier, I mentioned being a constant learner. Well, these two things go together. As you move through your career, it's your responsibility to constantly learn, and also to teach. You are responsible for making everyone around you better. If you make people better, people will want to work with you, and they'll want to make you better as well. If two people start their careers with the same great talent and the same education, I'm positive it's the person who has the best teachers, the best coaches, who has the advantage. I'm forever grateful for the teachers and the faculty that believed in me here. U of I taught me business, I made lifelong friends, and it gave me the confidence to go from the cornfields of Illinois to Wall Street, even if my not quite 5-foot stature didn't exactly scream investment banker. So never stop learning, focus on getting things done, and always try to make the people around you better. But first, don't forget to take a break. Congratulations. Thank you to Dean Brown for inviting me to be here. It's an honor and a privilege, and I can't wait to come back to campus again soon. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce two great scholars and faculty in our online programs here at Gies, Professors Elizabeth Luckman and Jeffrey Love. Elizabeth Luckman is a clinical assistant professor of business administration and R.C. Evans Data Analytics Fellow at Gies Business. Her research interests include leadership, ethics, organizational culture, and management education. Jeffrey Love is an associate professor of business administration at Gies Business. His research includes social evaluations, organizational and institutional change, downsizing, and more recently, organizational innovation, drawing on his experience as an entrepreneur. We're so glad they were able to take some time to join us today. Please welcome Elizabeth Luckman and Jeffrey Love.
Greetings to all of the graduates gathered here today. With family, friends, and those cheering you along the way. Today's your graduation day, a day to celebrate. It's also a perfect time to stop a moment and appreciate how much that you have learned and how much that you have grown now that you have reached this important milestone. Think back to that day when you started your iDegree. What did you expect? What were you hoping to see? Did you take this journey to learn and to grow, to get a new job, a new seed to sow? Whatever the reason this path was for you, now it's time to reflect so you can break through to the next chapter of life, whatever it may be. Time to put into practice what you got from your degree. Just consider what you've learned, what all you've been through. Let's think about your classes and the profs who taught you. Your interest in stats may have been 0 to none until Prof. Fatina showed you that stats can be fun. And managerial accounting may have made you feel wary, but how can you argue with the knowledge of Prof. Gary? For some, finance is hard and can leave a scar, but you learned along Prof. Hator's smooth guitar. Econ's a topic that can be difficult now and then, so you listen to Prof. Larry because he's got the pen. Being successful's a duty with which you are now laden. That's what you heard loud and clear from Prof. Hayden. And you learned how to navigate your leadership woes during the weekly Prof. Denise and Prof. Elizabeth show. I am quite aware I've only listed a few of the faculty who hope to have inspired you to go out into the world and solve problems with meaning, to find what could be better and start intervening, to provide value to the world with strength without cease, to show them all the purpose of your time spent at Gies. There's a secret about purpose that you may want to know. The purpose of life, the whole point, is to grow. There are many ways to do this through family and friends, traveling, meeting people, changing your lens, taking on earning a graduate degree while working and managing life and family. You've been living your purpose while your degree you've pursued as you challenged yourself to grow to a new version of you. So here is my advice as you embark on your next chapter. Show the world that you've learned to be an adapter. The world is weird and messy and capricious, and it's no longer enough only to be ambitious. We also need understanding of the human condition, making trusting relationships a part of our mission. As leaders and employees, this should be our foundation to contribute value to the world through our organization. Experiment relentlessly and reflect on every action. Acknowledge successes and failures to reach satisfaction with your journey as a leader, which will never be done. And make sure you stop along the way to engage in some fun. And now you're ready to do this in a whole new way. Now that you've reached this point, your graduation day, stay connected to your classmates and your professors too. We have all found ourselves inspired by you. Congratulations on your achievement and on earning your degree. I'm wishing you the best now that you're graduating from Gies.
Hello and welcome. It's my privilege to congratulate you on your achievements that we celebrate today. Now, it's also been my privilege to work with many of you directly, to see a level of talent and drive as I've taught in the Strategic Innovation course, and particularly it was exciting to see the connections that people make between their work and the course concepts. It's been really impressive. And that brings me to a second level of these congratulations, as it speaks to how this is a tremendously challenging program for many of you who have to do all the work while simultaneously holding down demanding jobs. You've had to do a lot of juggling, including for many of you with your families. And you've had to do this for not just a month, but for a period of years. That was also, by the way, the time of COVID, and continues to be, with all that brought. So not just anyone would have the commitment or drive required here, or be willing to make the sacrifices needed. So congratulations once again, double from all of us here. You should feel very proud and relax for a bit. And I could end right there. But of course, in a talk like this, it's customary to give some advice or perspective. And, I do this with a little bit of trepidation, as I respect that, many of you are well down the road of life. You're not newly minted undergraduates, and you have your own wisdom. So what I did is I tried to keep my own early 30s as the average age, more or less, self in mind, or what I remember of it. And so we'll see how that goes. So I have 2 points I want to bring to you. Neither are about what I teach specifically. They're not about the need for an innovation mindset or openness to change, though those are important. These are more personal. The frame I want you to invoke is that graduation is a punctuation point. It's a point to step back and think about big ideas. And I want to give you a couple to think about. And the first idea is to urge you to keep the broader perspective that you've gained here through the IMBA, to keep it vibrant at your job. What I mean here is you've taken courses across different functions, and they broaden your knowledge of how an organization works all the way across and up and down. And what I'm saying is this gives you a chance to break out of focusing narrowly on the specialized things that you do in your job, that your role demands, even within your function, be it accounting or finance or marketing. And in doing so, keeping that broader perspective, making a broader impact, having greater success in your organization. So there's an analogy to traveling or working internationally. When you talk and interact with people from different cultures, you see different understandings of how the world should work. And it really broadens you. It shows you the way that things are done in your country aren't the only right way. It breaks you out of that narrow parochial perspective. In the same way, in the IMBA, you have traveled, but across functions rather than to countries. You've traveled to the lands of marketing and finance and accounting, and across the sea to management and strategy. And so this can break you out of a narrow view of your role, your job, your function. Your learning can be a catalyst for you to take a broader view and have a broader impact, so that when you meet people in different functions at different levels, you can meet them where they are. You understand where they're coming from. You see broader chances to work together, to understand differences and bridge them. And the virtue and value of all these things is certainly straightforward to see. The point that I really want to emphasize is that in my experience and in the research that I've seen, this doesn't happen automatically. It takes intention to keep a new perspective alive and powerful, and to avoid the pressure that you'll face on the job to narrow down your focus to your job, to your function. It's challenging on a personal level to keep a new perspective alive. There's a tendency to stay in that familiar lane, stay in your lane, as the young ones say. So my message here is to commit to keeping that broader perspective alive, gathering courage to take and communicate and act and have impact beyond your role with what you've learned. You have the opportunity to do that now in a new way. The second idea also involves how you think about what you've learned. Now, one way to think about it is that the knowledge you gain adds to your toolkit so that you can take on new tasks successfully. And you also have a credential now that's going to help create new opportunities to take on new tasks. And these are going to come fast and furious as they do these days. So the thing I want you to consider is that while the expanded toolkit will enable you to succeed at doing the new tasks, the tasks themselves are often not imbued with meaning on their own. That's something that you often have to provide. The task might be aimed at something greater, but its purpose, that often comes from you. There's an example I think that's powerful that illustrates this. It's called the parable of the bricklayer. You may have heard of it. So it goes something like this. Long ago, a noble walked past a construction site and saw 3 bricklayers. And he asked the first one, "Well, what are you doing?" And that bricklayer snarled and said, "Well, can't you see I'm laying bricks?" He went to the second one. He asked the same question. This one said, "Well, I'm building a wall." He went to the third one. Well, this one had a different answer. He said, "I am building a cathedral so my community can worship their God." So you see the point here is that the same task can hold many different meanings. And it's often up to us to define that meaning, to bring the purpose in, to understand what people call the why of what we're doing. The first bricklayer did not do that. Maybe he never had that. The last one did, and you see the difference. Now, if you bring that to your own situation, how you do that may be different. It might be that you're working to achieve something that's good or important in itself. Maybe you're working to provide for your family. Maybe you're working because you enjoy doing certain things or solving certain kinds of problems. In whatever way, you want to connect the new tasks, the new challenges that you face with these broader meanings. But like keeping the broader perspective, it's not always easy to keep the meaning and purpose of work in mind in the heat of the day. There's pressure to just check the task off and move the next one down and just keep on checking off. But I think, and there's research to back this up, that if you keep the meaning and the purpose alive, you'll be more effective. You'll be less stressed. You'll have more satisfaction. You'll get further in the organization. You might even live longer. This graduation offers an opportunity for you to think about the meanings and purposes that you want to bring to your work and increasingly to the work of those that work for you, and make a commitment that as you use the new tools, you'll keep those meanings and purposes alive. So that's it. 2 things. First, keep the broader perspective that you have alive. Don't let it narrow down in the press of the day's work to just your job. Second, keep meaning and purpose alive. Don't lose it in a sea of checking off tasks. If you take the chance to do these things, I really believe they can make a meaningful difference. Okay, so to close, once again, congratulations. You've completed a mighty task through much sacrifice and commitment. And so take this special day to feel proud of everything that you've done. Thank you.
A huge thank you to both Professor Luckman and Professor Love. Next, I would like to introduce our 2 student speakers who have demonstrated the excellence and leadership that embody a Gies alum, Jennifer Pippa and Nikel Vidwans.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Pippa, and I am thrilled to introduce myself as one of the newest graduates from the Gies College of Business. You know, when I finished and graduated college, I was 100% sure I'd closed the door on my academic life and that I wouldn't be attending classes or doing group work or group projects anymore. I figured that that section of my life was over and done. And as I moved on and my career grew, I saw that there were gaps in my knowledge, that I probably would benefit from some additional education opportunities. And after more research, I came to find that MBA was probably the best solution for me given where I was. And that's when I did my research and chose to join the University of Illinois Gies College of Business. The learning curve was so steep initially. Who knew we had so many online platforms? Coursera, Compass, Blackboard, Zoom, all of these online collaboration tools that we needed to become masters of very quickly so that we could be engaged and fully immersed students in our process. I don't think at that point in time, any of us knew that our lives were going to begin and end midnight Central Time every Tuesday as we submitted projects and papers and homework. And as the new cycle began then, and we had 7 more days, those projects were tough, but I was really thankful and enjoyed the challenge that it provided me and the groups that I worked with. This was a second full-time job for each and every one of us before we joined. And we knew that well before everything got a lot more complicated with COVID. It impacted our lives, our family, our work, but we were positioned so well as an online virtual learning community ahead of the COVID impacts that we were able to continue our education and our collaboration without missing a single beat. One of the things I found when I joined and started taking my classes was the group work portion of our education process. I have to tell you, I thought this is going to be the worst part of the entire process. There's always 2 people who show up who do all the work, 2 people who do 50% of the work, and the guy who shows up last and just wants to put his name on it. I couldn't have been more wrong. What I found was a richness in the diversity and the ideas of our student body, how we came together and collaborated and saw different opportunities, different cultures, different way of solving problems, not just in time zones in the US, but in countries and continents around the world. This was an amazing opportunity that each one of us was going to be able to take advantage of. It taught me how to collaborate with folks from different cultures, the different ways people tackle solving ideas and problems, and how challenging and rich that discussion can be, and that the work product it ended up providing us was so much richer and better because of the conversations and the diversity of the group work that we did. While I thought when I began that this was going to be the least favorite thing in my entire academic journey, I couldn't have been more wrong. It was by far the most valuable thing I experienced in my 2 years during my MBA process. I made lifelong friends and peers. I'm a richer leader because of the diversity and the collaboration I was taught in these group work situations, as well as being an independent student attending these classes. I know that the team I lead will be better because of the diversity that I now understand and will bring, not only when we make hiring decisions, but when we form task groups and work groups to solve our organization's problems. When I came to Gies, I really felt that I was a strong leader in my organization. I felt like I knew most of the leadership skills I needed. And what I found is that there were so many more tools I could add to myself and make myself a better leader. And that I was going to come out of the end of my MBA journey with such a more well-rounded understanding of what true leadership looks like and how to be the most effective leader I can. Now understanding the value of being a lifelong learner. And while I said to you when I graduated undergraduate school, I thought that's it, I'm done. And now I've taken my MBA. I see immense value in continuing to learn and challenge myself. And I'm not sure I would have truly valued or understood that had I not spent my last 2 years here at the University of Illinois. There are things we can do each and every day to make ourselves richer and better leaders now that we've graduated from the University of Illinois. We finished. It was a long and tough journey, but we have every reason to be proud. We are now amazing, thoughtful, compassionate leaders because of the education we've received at the University of Illinois. So congratulations to each and every one of you on this amazing accomplishment. And thank you for allowing me to share my story with you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nikhil Uday Vidwans, and I am a submarine captain that recently finished the IMBA. I started this journey about 21 years ago, paid the fees, but dropped out of a lot of universities because I just couldn't attend the classes or take the exams. Submarine operations were not really compatible with university education, is what I thought. So I need to thank the amazing people over at UIUC who came up with this concept of IMBA. Trust me, the IMBA has enabled a lot of people like me in rather unique situations to complete their education. I also wanted to specialize in finance, and the closest I came to this subject were the audits that we used to do on board submarines. In these audits, we expertly used vague accounting principles that are yet to find their way to the US GAAP, and I must say are unknown to most accountants on land. I thought I was crazy, and I think this assessment was also shared by my professors Vlad Dolgopolov and Scott Rice-Brenner. These are the two gentlemen I must thank specifically as we charted unknown waters back in 2020. I also wanted to finish something that I had never done before, data analytics. It was as far removed from my comfort zone as I could imagine. After all, I thought I had learned Prince 2 and Super Mario on board the submarines pretty unsupervised. So I thought trees, decision trees, forests, snakes, Python, machine learning, rockets, XGBoost would be pretty similar. It did take a while for Professors Ashish Khandelwal and Ronald Gaimon to see the similarities, but once they did, we had a good laugh about it. Many thanks, professors. I know I am crazy, but you all helped me quite a bit. I completed my degree finally with a CGPA of 4.0 and more A pluses than A. This is all attributable to the brilliant professors and the amazing A plus friends from all over the globe that I have made. You all are too many to thank individually, but we will keep in touch for a very long time to come. I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. I also take this opportunity to suggest that veterans like me move out of their comfort zone and not restrict themselves to tried and tested routes like administration, organization, and other career skills. I know it is not easy learning new things, but then nothing worthwhile ever is. So don't be afraid to fail. You have already proved yourself. Now live for yourself. Be crazy, have fun. Any help from my side, advice, thoughts, count on it. Know in advance that I will push you where no one has been pushed before. But I will definitely help. So you have been warned. Lastly, it is my honor to repeat Professor Hayden Noel's patented words. Now go out into the world and be successful. It's been an honor, people. I wish you all fair winds and following seas. Live long and prosper. Cheers.
Graduates, you join us today at a moment unlike any in the past century. As we look forward to a post-COVID world, it's hard to imagine a return to business as usual. In the United States and in other countries around the globe, the coronavirus pandemic has revealed deep social and political divisions. It has also brought into sharp focus economic gaps in wealth, yes, but also in opportunity. But as we believe here at Gies, disruption can be a powerful engine for change and progress. Just 5 years ago, we launched the IMBA program to create greater opportunity and access to rigorous graduate management education for ambitious students all around the world. Since then, we've added the IMSA and the IMSM, opening the doors to learners from around the world. We've realized the power of technology creatively harnessed and how it can help deliver impactful and engaging online learning for you. In 2015, we could not have foreseen a pandemic. But our journey to the frontier of online learning has enabled us and you to continue your education. And for that, we're very happy. During your time in Gies business, you've grown both personally and professionally. You've been challenged in your academic work by some of the finest business professors in the country. And you've been inspired and motivated by your classmates, whose diverse professional and cultural experiences and points of view have opened your minds and your hearts to new ways of thinking and acting in the world. I ask of you today, will you continue to rise to the challenges of leadership, where more than the functional aspects of management are expected, if not demanded? Will you assume your obligation to serve humanity through your work, to lend a hand to those on the other side of the divide? Will you find the imagination to let your work impact social and economic justice and create new pathways for a world in need of compassion and opportunity? This is what it means when we say business on purpose. It is the intentional pursuit of ethical practice to diversity and inclusion and to bringing together a world in need of unity and shared purpose. Graduates, when you succeed in this way, we all succeed. You are Gies. Collectively, our students, our faculty, our staff, our supporters are all part of the Gies family. And you've helped Gies business rise to a new level. You've helped set the standard. As alumni, I hope you'll look for ways to stay involved. You now have a lifelong connection, a shared bond with Gies business. And those that come behind you need your support and insight and guidance. I encourage you to take the opportunity to speak to a class or take a phone call from a student who's interested in your field. Convince that colleague of yours who's looking into grad schools that Illinois is the best place to get your graduate business degree. Because of your industry experience and your wisdom, you're in a unique position to be our best ambassadors. Sharing your experiences and your testimonial has the greatest power to influence others. And please know that your Gies education doesn't have to end here. We want you to continue learning, and we'll always be here to make sure you have the latest skills to be a successful business leader for many years to come. Know also that you are joining more than 75,000 Gies alumni worldwide. That network, which spans some 139 countries, is one of the strongest business networks on earth. On behalf of all of us at Gies College of Business, congratulations on your achievements in earning your degree. We celebrate your success with you. And remember, your education isn't finished. It's just reached a crossroad where there are new opportunities awaiting you at every turn. Those new roads will lead to some exciting and wonderful places. Just don't forget your way back to Gies. At this time, I ask the graduates to please turn on your cameras if you've not already done so. Now, if you would please move your tassel from the right side to the left, signifying the conference of your degree. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I'm so proud to be able to call you a fellow Gies business alum. Your degree from this world-class university can take you to places you never thought possible. Without the University of Illinois, my family and I never would have been in a position to positively impact lives. Our university has given each of us the ability to influence the world in such a positive way. Your impact in life won't be measured by how much money you make. Your impact will be measured by how you change the world and those you touch along the way. At Gies, you've become a purposeful leader, a leader with the tools, experiences, and alumni network to pursue your passion to make the world a better place. And the power of the Gies Business Alumni Network is real. And it's truly a network built on action. Wherever you go in the world today, chances are there's a Gies alum nearby. An alum willing to listen, offer advice, give you a leg up, or just strike up a friendship. And you can do the same for generations of future Gies business graduates who follow your lead. Enjoy every moment of your journey and make what you do meaningful to you. It's a great day to be an Illini. Welcome to the Gies alumni family. Congratulations, graduates.
As you move forward in your career and life, please remember you always have a home at Gies College of Business. You always have a team here to help you navigate challenges that come your way. So please stay in contact with us. Let us know how you're doing. and know that we'll be here to support you in your lifelong learning journey. As you continue throughout your career, you can always come back to Gies for the skills you need to succeed. I love that I've had the opportunity to engage with so many of you in my role at Gies. Seeing the impact we've been able to have on your lives, even from thousands of miles away in many cases, has been more rewarding than I could have ever imagined. Here's to you for being incredible people, talented students, great ambassadors, purposeful business leaders, and now University of Illinois and Gies College of Business graduates. From our family to yours, congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody. This is truly a day to celebrate. Now, let's all sing along with Gies Online students and faculty in Hail to the Orange. A 1 and a 2 and a 3.
Hail to the orange, hail to the blue. Hail, alma mater, ever so true. We love no other, so let our motto be.
Congratulations, everybody. Now go out in the world and be successful.